I mean, there's a lot of people who get stuck in their thinking. I mean, we're seeing that all over the time right now. We're seeing that all the time right now, right? Rob, that's funny. I believe you are, Deb. I'm just, sometimes I'm responding to your remarks, but you wrote them 5 minutes ago. I'm just seeing them. So just know, I know you are. And I'm super glad that I can be your distraction right now. And I'm just sending you tons of love and support as you're there. And I know that everybody on here will be doing the same thing. And why don't we talk about not only just toxic positivity, because your body is your antenna. And this is something you've heard me say a million, bazillion, gazillion times, is how spirit connects with you is through your body, through your emotions, through how you think about things, how you feel about things. Spirit knows everything you've ever been through. So when I give a reading, or I'm the medium, I show up in front of you, and there's another medium that shows up in front of you. Us as two separate mediums will have two separate, hopefully evidence. I mean, I want evidence. I'm an evidential spiritual medium. I want evidence. When you're coming through, I want to say validation. There's only things that you understand. Spirit's telling me it. But because of that, because of the evidence, because of this, if these two separate places, it's funny, I just got lost in thought because there's two different faces of me looking at me. It's very confusing. I don't like to look at myself because it's just ridiculous. But how I receive messages are going to be through my filter and my understanding. How somebody else receives messages is going to be very different. So you'll have two mediums, same room, two incredibly different experiences. Now, I've had a ton of different experiences that run from getting a science degree to being, to growing up with a father working at the plant at Ford, to having a million and a bazillion different things in between. God, some of them are very embarrassing, and I don't want anybody to know, but I'm sure that if I will have to own all of my stuff at some point in time to everybody. But how things happen for you is exactly the way that they're supposed to be happening. And I guess I want to say it in this way. It's a rodeo. Life is kind of like a rodeo out there. There's densities. You come into thicker densities that create coagulated energy that makes it very hard to move through. And then you run into higher vibrational energies that makes things easier. There's a go with the flow. The more you can connect the go with the flow, the easier it is. But something that really sticks out to me is the idea that things are perfect. And they're not. I don't think they were perfect for anybody. In fact, if you want to say, like, old JC was stuck on a cross, right? I mean, in biblical worlds, I'm sure that's true too. Maybe it's not. I don't know. I'm just going to believe right now that maybe that's true. But it's not meant for this life to be easy. In fact, there's a lot of self-forgiveness that has to do in coming forward and being more vulnerable and being who you truly are to show up completely for somebody. Now, I have some clients who are going through some really hard times. And when you're going through some really, oh, Rob, you're funny. Give us the dirt, Janny. It's hardly anything to get me to sing, right? I was going to be like, that's a bottle of tequila, but it's not even that. It's like, oh, Janny, blah, blah, blah. And it'd be like, spill my guts. I have some clients who are going through some hard things, and I have some friends who are going some really hard things right now. And something that is sort of a theme in all of them is I know and so something that's a theme is that there's this shame about having feelings, this shame about stating what you need and want, the shame about the shame about what's happening in their life. And what I want to really address is, the more that we live in shame, the more underground our feelings go. And when our feelings are going underground, they then are getting stuck in our nervous system. And if they get stuck in our nervous system, this creates a trauma, a plaque, if you will, if a plaque on, like you would in your whole like cardiovascular system, in your veins or your arteries, something slowing down the energy. You want your emotions to get out and you want to deal with them. It's really important to, it's super important to deal with what's happening in your life and around your life so that you can move forward. Now, does it mean that it's easy? Absolutely not. Does it mean that you, because you're spiritual, that things work out? Absolutely not. I don't want you... Right, don't be afraid. Oh, Shelly, you're sweet. Where am I? I'm at my house. This is just a Zoom picture that's behind me. I changed it from my cherry blossoms to this. Hey, Rob, how you doing? How's your wife doing? I hope she's doing well. Kelsey, you're very sweet. Thank you very much for that. So it's important not to get caught up in toxic positivity, because it's not just seeing, I love this idea, and I'm gonna share this. Not me, right? I understand that. What if there's something in our past we should be ashamed of? Well, it's one of the things that shouts to me as I'm seeing and hearing this is that a lot of shadow work. So shadow work is dealing with the darker sides of your personality. So is dealing with the darker sides of your personality and how to integrate them so that you're not hurting anybody or yourself. That being said, there could be niches for things that people find. I mean, we live in an earth that's so connected. You could, I don't know why I'm going to talk about this, but I'm going to talk about it. There could be things that you, that's a niche for you, that you would find someplace in the world or find on the internet that you can connect with people that nobody else can jive with around you. So really about integrating yourself so you know where you go and get, hi Nikki, how are you? So toxic positivity, you cannot be positive all the time. So here's an example of that. So I fell in love, and I would strongly encourage anybody who wants to. I fell in love with Unity Church in Boulder. The dude I fell in love with is Jack Groverland, and now his daughter and son, they are picking up whatever. It's nepotism at its best. Whatever. Jack is amazing. He's brilliant. When I first found Unity, it was finally like I heard somebody that was speaking Unity in Boulder specifically. I would just go there, sit there every Sunday and just cry for the whole hour and go home, come back next Sunday, cry and go home. So anyway, that's my background on it. I love him so much. I mean, he probably doesn't know who I am from an ant in the ground, but I think he's amazing and phenomenal. And I do know that they put their services online. So I strongly suggest if you have time, you check them out. Oh, Nikki, I'm glad you're feeling better. So so my point is, I mean, I think he's great in all this. So I wanted to talk about a class for kids that really had kids that talked about tricky adults. Now, there's a part in this church that, I brought it to people who knew them and who worked in the office, and they suggested, hey, what about Janie teaching this tricky adults for kids? Because we live in this world of denser, deeper, darker energy shadow energy that's not integrated, shadow energy that can strike out. And I was talking to her, and I've taught my kids the tricky adult thing, and they said no, they didn't want to do it, because if they bring in the idea of that, then they're looking at it, and so it could happen. And I heard that, and I was so shocked by it. Actually, it was really quite shocking. So even just thinking about an idea could bring it in. Oh, thank you so much, Shelley. Well, one of the it's interesting because my son is 14. Well, I have twin boys who are 14 years old, and 100 steps from my house, somebody tried to get him into the car. I know I announced this on my personal website, and I was just announcing it, but I have taught my children from a very young age, from when I was living in Colorado, to think about tricky adults. Adults don't need things from kids. If they're trying to get you to help them look for a puppy, get into their car, have you look for a cat, get a cat down from a tree, they're being tricky. They don't need your help. They never needed children. So, it was interesting to me to have this up life in this moment where this thing that I've taught my kids to be, they live in this world of reality, not in the world of toxic negativity, where you just, everything must be positive. Everything must be positive. All you think is positive. All you think is positive. Nothing can be negative. Well, that's just not real. Things happen that are disappointing. Things happen that are sad. Things happen that are devastating. Things happen you lose things. You lose people. You lose attachments. You want things you can't have. But I'm digressing a little bit. Sometimes we get really attached to the losses. So I'm saying you have to feel it and let it go. You have to deal with it. You have to deal with the trauma of not getting it, and then move on, and then and get it out of your system, so then you can get back on your bull in this rodeo and find another way of being. Sometimes it's not with the same people. Sometimes it's with different people, and sometimes you're going to have to be in this space. Sometimes you're going to have to be in this space of allowing the emotions to take you on their waves. I mean, you are in the ocean. You are the ocean. You ebb and you flow. Your wave comes and it goes. So it's interesting because I find myself, it's kind of the nature of emotions, right? I was driving, it was after all the rain. Now I've been walking around, and prior to the rain that came, and getting really worried about all the trees. I've been looking at the trees, and they've all been sad, and they've been dropping their leaves prematurely and turning brown and dropping all their leaves because they're dying. There's no water. So when it rained and then all of the green came out, I drove and I could just feel it. And I have a lot of plants. I have a lot of plants, and I swear I can hear them talk to me when they're thirsty. I'm like, oh my gosh, they need to get water. Sometimes it's like I zone them out till they're like, I'm really thirsty, I need a drink. So a friend of mine dropped some plants off, and they're succulents, and she's like, I give them a tablespoon at a time. And she left, and I was like, and they're like right by where I work, and I'm sitting here working, and I'm looking off to the side, and I'm working. They're right over here, and I'm like, ugh. Oh my gosh, they're like screaming they need a drink. So I used this, gave them way more than 2 tablespoons of water, and they just all perked right up. And that's what it was like after the rain all came, and the trees perked up, and it was green, it was beautiful. And of course the gnats came out and mosquitoes, but whatever. The green was there, the green. The reason I moved back from Colorado to Michigan, it's the green. And look, even the Zoom picture around here is the green. Yeah, I like that. I like that, Jen. If you're the rock, it's hard to allow feelings of love. You have to be the ocean. You are the wave. You're coming and you're going. So, you know, I was just, I was on this, riding this wave of like beautiful greens, and I've had some challenges in the past few days, and I found myself like, oh, like, oh, I'm just so sad. So sad. And, you know, so it comes and it goes, and there's a mixture. I mean, it's not that sad. I'm exaggerating here, but that's kind of my message is you have to allow. I just saw the face because of the delay. I just saw the face I made. That was a really sad face. You have to allow all of your emotions. You are an amazing spiritual being ushering in a human expansion. Ugh, that's hard. You're ushering in a spiritual, a human experience. You're the spiritual being ushering in a human expansion. Not a spiritual expansion. You already got the spiritual stuff down. You're a spiritual being. You're Yep, they will. If you suppress your feelings, they will come up and then some. Think Yellowstone geyser, 90 different. You know, that kind of worries me about geyser. Now that I have to think about that. I'm going to write that down in my lists of things to think about. So, are you still on here? It's not. Is it Kelsey? Are you in Yellowstone? James, are you still here? Debbie, are you still here, Debbie? I'm wondering if you're still here. Well, you know, one of the things that I've got to think about, I want to like meditate on, I guess I shouldn't think about it, I'm going to meditate on, is Yellowstone. If we're having 90 earthquakes, is that what she said? Yellowstone, 90 earthquakes. That's you know, there's or Paul, okay. Yeah, Debbie. So 90 earthquakes. That is, I mean, that's a caldera right on top of that. So that's an interesting, so I'm just going to ask this of everybody who's watching now, and when I switch this over to YouTube, is that you just say a prayer and hold Oregon, Yellowstone, hold that whole area from Montana, Idaho, all Wyoming, and just a hold, just flush it out with white light. Okay, that's a pretty, I mean, it's even bigger than that, but just hold that space there. That's a really good question. I'm gonna guess it's not 90, although I'm gonna go do some research on that on the on NOAA. I think it's NOAA. Yeah, I think NOAA has some Earth. I can't remember what it is. It's one of the sites. I know what I know. I have it bookmarked, but I can't remember what the name of it is. So I'll let you know, Jen Lindsay. Okay. So do we have any questions out there tonight? Debbie Lee, I'm going to pull a beautiful tarot card for me. I'm going to pull a tarot card for you as you're sitting in line in the evacuation line in Southern Oregon. And I appreciate you joining in. And I appreciate everybody joining in. Yep, it's the caldera. Debbie, did we do a So this is an interesting card that I've been doing. I don't know if you can. Well, actually, I'm sorry. I have to change my screen so I can see if you can see this. I gotta change. You can't see this. Oh, look. There's no me. I'm ghost. Jenny doesn't exist. Oh, whose fingers are these? Okay, I'm sorry, I'm being silly. Okay, so it's the father of roots. So this actually is where you're in between both worlds. And I mean, there couldn't be anything more, more beautiful. Like you are in between both worlds, changing, sorry, Jen, changing from one and going into another. Although there's a lot of work that has been done on both grounds, you're still going to be rerouting in. So is your plan to, I hear your plan is to go back, right? Because that's what I'm hearing. I did not see what you wrote, Shelley. Yeah. There's 20,000 a year around the world. 20,000. Oh, earthquakes around the year? I know. The ones in New Zealand definitely leveled them for sure. Okay, Rob again. I love this deck. This is the Brady deck, Brady Tarot. They, yeah, they've been worried about that for years. The Caldera. Yeah. Okay, super volcano. Yeah, I want to tell you, I don't, hi, Becky. Nice to see you. Oh, I'm sorry, James. It's going to, Debbie, I'm going to tell you a couple things. This is a psychic medium, spiritual medium, somebody in the flow, and I was just going to be making a silly rap there, but there's no need. I'm actually seeing you being able to rebuild it. It's even a bigger place, I guess. Like, is that the plan? Anyway, you don't know the plan yet. So what I'm seeing is I actually see going back, I see everything working out well for you there. I don't see any more issues. I don't see any more issues that are going to come up. So I'm going to pull a card for you, Jen. I'm going to tell you, one of the things I want to say is that when people cross the other side, they're so happy they're there. And I think like if we knew how amazing it was on the other side here when we're here, we would never have capital punishment. It would just not happen. I mean, do you think this life is easy? People would be like, heck no. Let's make them live in the world and pay rent. Mortgage. Yeah, it's gonna happen, Deb. I like it. I don't know what the no is to. Oh no, we wouldn't have capital punishment. You're right. So I'm gonna tell you, I'm seeing two things coming up here for you, and this card you should be able to see it, although I don't want to change screens. Is power. So this is I don't know what no is to. Oh yeah, we wouldn't have capital punishment. So this is the power card. So you're coming into this power where there's, I don't know if you can see, because I've got to keep it far away, because there's two buffalo and then two raging storms that are going. So you're connecting with those powers and those energies that are going to push you forward and create satisfaction in your in whatever project you're going into, is one thing I'm hearing. So it's interesting because one of the things I'm hearing on this is that these are your people from the other side who are trying to connect with you and let you know that you have what you need on this side, and that they're showing me that you are going to be that you're going to be that you're going to utilize these forces for good, these forces and this pain, and you're going to turn it into power for yourself. And I'm super excited that you I am so sorry to hear that, Sue. I don't understand why you would say that, Khalid. As a friend, I'm so sorry to hear that, Sue. That is, it's and it's very true. I mean, it's when we cross the other side, we hold no, we hold no, we hold no desire to our body. We hold nothing to it. We are in perfect ecstasy and harmony and happiness. So if you have people who have crossed over, even if it was a violent crossing over, I want you to know that they're at peace. And as far as doing any more readings, I'm not going to be doing any more readings here tonight. I wanted to do it for those couples because I was drawn there. Doesn't mean that that you did something wrong or it was your name. It was it's because it's what I'm drawn to by spirit. So spirit's the one in charge. You're not in charge. I'm not in charge. I'm only drawn to do it for people that spirit is saying that they need it, and maybe next time. So just know that. And I just wanted to pop on here and let you know, have all of your emotions. You are an amazing masterpiece, from all of the highs to all of the lows and everything in between. Express it, communicate it, feel it, put boundaries around it. Don't shame yourself for it. You are allowed to have your emotions. You are allowed to have all of your emotions. Yeah. And then with that, if you're with people who are wanting you only to be in a specific way, that's very, very toxic. It's very toxic to say, I only want you to be happy. I only want you to be doing this. You have to be doing that. That's in a toxic place. You have to decide what will happen in your life. Yes, James, right after this. I'll be doing TikTok right after this. You know it, but I won't have this cool background. So maybe I shouldn't do TikTok. I said hi. And what else is going on? All right, so we've been at this for a while. I am going to, what am I going to do? I am going to have, yeah, thank you, Jen. I am going to have, what am I going to have this weekend? I don't know. It's a busy weekend. I'm working all weekend. I work all the time. And you guys may not know that about me yet, but I work almost all the time. Yeah, I'm going to try and do things. I hope you try and do things. And James, what's your TikTok name? Khalid, get on TikTok. Find me. I do way more readings on there. Like lots of them. I forgot to tell everybody I was going live though, so it's almost 10 o'clock. It's almost 10 o'clock? How long have we been doing this? Like have we been doing this for an hour? Hi, Yanni. Digital Crumbs. Oh, nice. Nice. I know that. You know I know that name. I talk about it all the time. I love that name. That's a great name. So I am, comment as Jenny Spiritual Medium. Find me on TikTok as Jenny Psychic Medium. Oh my gosh. It just changed what. I don't want that. Okay, I'm trying to show you what to. Oh, they will find you. It keeps changing my name to some. Who is this person? Oh my gosh, find me on TikTok, Janny. Sorry, it's taking me this dude. All right. This dude. Okay. There's no periods or anything. It just kept trying to name it somebody else. Change my name to somebody else. So find me if you can. I will be going over there. Thank you so much for spending time with me this evening. I will post this over. I will also post this over on YouTube. I appreciate it because we are. I mean, there. I mean, I don't think I really flush out what the name or what we're talking about until we're talking about it. So that's what it's no longer. I was Spirit Walker 444, but now I am Janny Psychic Medium. So I changed my name to my name so that my name is my name and you could find me a little bit easier, maybe. So, hi, Catherine. Oh, you're Diamond Wild, Debbie? Okay. So find me. I'm going to go over in a few minutes after I maybe make a cup of tea. I think I might cup of tea. Yeah, so that's what I didn't flesh out what I was talking about. So now I fleshed it out. Ooh, stuff's falling around me. Now I fleshed it out. I'm going to be able to put we're going to talk about toxic positivity. So thank you so much for that. Awesome. See light, be light. I know I don't want it to be toxic. I don't want it to be like toxic, see light, be light. No, but it's just seeing light, being light. The more that you're around like this positivity, it helps you, right? 4 o'clock, clock 4 a.m. So, well, I don't know, Kelly. Maybe you should go to sleep. That sounds late. It's 4 a.m. Usually if you're up at 4 a.m., that could be liver. So do you have some acupuncturists around you? I shouldn't be eating these. I'm waiting for you to respond, Kelly. Is she funny? Three a.m., 4 a.m. Look into your liver enzymes and see how they're doing. Usually that's like are you okay? My dog just made some weird noise. Usually that's a liver thing. Check out your meridians. Get to with some Chinese medicine, especially acupuncture. I don't even say if she's amazing. You're not harming me. Definitely work on getting some sleep well through the night. That's important. Abigail. All right. Ciao. Talk to you later, man. Once I figure out where my everything is. Bye.